Satnam everyone, welcome back to the Aquarian Shift. My name is Jason Diltz, also known as Tag Occuldeep, and in this video I'm going to talk about Ghor Dhukyang, the mantra for extreme victory against all odds. I'm going to talk about what the mantra is, what it means, and how you can use it in your own life. So there are thousands of mantras across many lineage. There are thousands of mantras in the Kundalini Yoga lineage. The thing to know about mantras, what makes them different from music, is that mantra moves energy, music moves emotion. We want to be moving energy through our body, because when energy is stuck, that's how we get into negative, gnarly places. And situations are going to come up in your life where energy is not just stuck in you, but it's stuck in the circumstances around you, and you need to do something to move that energy. And mantra is a tool that we have to do that. Now, this Ghor Dhukyang mantra was a new mantra for me. It was introduced to me kind of later in the fall. Nine Treasures had been doing these really great mantra classes, and Jai Gopal taught this class, and it did the mantra Ghor Dhukyang. And I really resonated with the meaning of it and with the power behind it, which is the power to overcome extreme obstacles. Whenever you have something in your life that is coming up and it just seems insurmountable and you just don't see any way to get past this block or through these circumstances, this is a mantra that will reduce all of those troubles to ashes and allow you to move forward. So I really like the message. I took this mantra home, I started to memorize it, and I started to incorporate it into my daily practice of chanting it. I chanted about 11 minutes every day. Today happens to be the 111th day that I did the Ghor Dhukyang mantra chant. And what's really cool, and the reason why I'm doing this video, is this mantra is now available for the masses, because Grammy Award-winning band White Sun came out with a beautifully etheric and just sonically vivid version of this Ghor Dhukyang mantra this past week, and I think everyone should download it and play it and just let these sound currents dance in their mind. So question to all of you: have you ever had an extreme circumstance come up where you just feel stuck, where you just don't feel like there's a way through whatever the challenge, whatever the issue coming up is? I'm sure the answer is yes. I know I definitely have. I've had some big ones recently. Well, Ghor Dhukyang is the mantra for extreme victory, and it's used to overcome severe obstacles. It's used to overcome suffering, and it can also burn off a lot of karma when you chant it. Now, the origins of this mantra go back to I believe 1300s. It was 1355. Guru Arjan Dev, who is the fifth Sikh guru, this was one of the mantras that he contributed to the lineage. And it's a mantra that I don't know that it was widely used, but it's becoming more popular now that we've got bands like White Sun and teachers like Tej out there teaching it. You know, what I find so great about mantra is anytime I feel stuck, anytime I feel like I've just got this energy inside me and I don't know where to go or how to direct it, just in chanting the mantras or just in listening to the mantras, something inside starts to change. Because that's what mantras are. They are vibrational frequencies. These are sound currents that came to this planet, that were given to us to use as gifts, as tools, as, yes, technology that we can incorporate in our own lives on the daily to figure out how to circumnavigate these really intense, really gnarly times. So I'm going to talk about the mantra itself right now, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about how you can use that in your life. So the mantra is Ghor Dhukyang Anakahathian Janam Daharadran Mi Ha Bikyadhan Mi Tanth Sagal Simaranth Harnam Nanaka Jese Pavaka Kasat Basamam Koroth. That's a mouthful, I know. Took me a few days to get it in my psyche. what does that mean? Because ultimately, we have different relationships with mantras. We have the relationship with the mantra as it sits inside of us and as the sound current hits our psyche and it dances within us. And then there's the meaning of it. And it's really the relationship that the mantra has inside us that matters more than the literal transliteration of it, because these translations are taken from Gurmukhi and then they're put into English, and the original substance of the sound current really lies in the sound of the Gurmukhi. But I do think it's helpful to have an understanding of what it means. So I'll read you a transliteration. Excruciating pain, countless deaths, reincarnation, poverty, and terrible suffering, all are destroyed by meditating on the Lord's name. O Nanak, just as fire reduces piles of wood to ashes. So again, there's that theme of reducing piles of wood to ashes. This mantra burns away suffering, and it burns away karmic blocks like fire turning wood to ashes. So this mantra has been used in circumstances where there has been extreme adversity presenting itself, and when nothing else seemed to work, this mantra has been able to deliver. One of the stories that I'm aware of, this was a mantra that Yogi Bhajan gave for people in the Sangha to chant when he was very sick, and the doctors didn't really know what to do. This mantra was learned, it was chanted, and he came through. So that's one example I know of how this works. I can tell you in my own life, and I'll just tell a little personal story right now. When this mantra came into my awareness, I was starting to come out of a period where I had been extremely isolated, where I felt extremely awkward in social settings, and where I was really just having a difficult time integrating all these new frequencies and all these crazy changes that are going on the planet. And I think that on some level, everyone is experiencing a version of this, because so much change has happened so rapidly. Just think of your life since 2020, since the beginning of 2020, and everything that happened that year and everything that's happened since. The world has changed. It's changed geopolitically, but it's also changed interpersonally. How you deal with and interact with that's going to be very unique and very different for everyone. But for me, I'm very sensitive, and I've gotten more sensitive as I've gone deeper into the Kundalini Yoga practice, and I have had a really hard time integrating that. And it wasn't really until this past year that I started to figure out what was really going on and what I needed to do. And the answer for me was, I needed to be doing more physical yoga, I needed to be chanting more mantras, and then I needed to be putting myself out there. I needed to be around people more, I needed to be physically going to class more, and I needed to be talking more online about these teachings and about the astrology knowledge that I have, the yogic knowledge that I have, and just sharing, because sharing ultimately, I think, is going to be the number one currency of the age of Aquarius. How we share the unique knowledge and the unique skill set that we have with other people, that's going to determine our value. And that's going to determine how rich of a life we live. And I had not been living the most richly fulfilling life. And then when this mantra came into my awareness, I started to chant it, and things inside me just started to change. I suddenly felt a lot more comfortable being out in this very weird, crazy world that we now live in. I felt a shield of psychic protection around me in a way I had never felt before. And most importantly, I felt my heart start to open. And I felt the blockages that I had in my lower chakras, particularly in my sacral chakra, just burst open and flow right into that heart center. And when we have an open heart center, when we can relate to people heart to heart, that's when we're able to make connections. That's when we're able to form friendships. That's when we're able to make business relationships that are going to go somewhere good. And, ultimately, that's when we're able to make a relationship with somebody who is a potential romantic partner. It's when the heart center opens. And I really credit Ghor Dhukyang with giving me that gift, because I have my moon in Capricorn, my south node is conjunct my moon in Capricorn, so I, by default, am I have a pretty heavy emotional state. And I am pretty emotionally distant, and I don't open up, and I don't connect one-on-one very easily and very often. But with the help of this mantra, that's all changing. If you understood the intense heaviness of that planetary alignment, and particularly the way that it's played out in my life, you would understand the profundity, the profoundness of this mantra. You all have something in your life that is very heavy. Everybody has those things that they're here to work with. I did a video recently talking about the north node of the moon and the south node of the moon. You know, the south node of the moon, those are gifts that we came in with. Those are things that we came in like having mastered and being able to use to our benefit, but they're also karmic ties, and they also weigh us down. The north node of the moon is what we need to be going toward. That's the destiny. That's the thing that we have to gravitate to. So if you look at your life, even if you don't know your chart, you can probably think like, oh, okay, I'm really good at this, but I'm not good at this, but I want to be good at it, but I have a hard time getting there. How do I get there? Ghor Dhukyang. Just start playing this mantra. Learn to chant it. Just because you don't know Gurmukhi does not mean you can't learn to chant this. I only speak English. I do not speak any other languages, but I have learned to memorize multiple Gurmukhi mantras. But if you don't feel like that's in your awareness right now and something you want to do, just put this on in the background, just start listening to this and see what happens. So some practical uses for like where and how this mantra can help you in your life. So this is a mantra to use when you feel stuck, heavy blocks that won't budge, Ghor Dhukyang. When you're facing severe physical pain or mental disease, Ghor Dhukyang. When you've made mistakes and you want to clear the past karma, Ghor Dhukyang. When there's an extreme situation that feels overpowering, Ghor Dhukyang. You can also just use this in your daily life for protection and for purification, Ghor Dhukyang. It's a mantra that will help you on many levels and in many ways. And like I said, how do you use this? You can chant it. You can learn the words. I chant it 11 minutes a day. You can chant it 11 times a day. You know, whatever works for you. You can just listen to it. You can sit in silent meditation and just kind of close your eyes and let the sounds of the mantra really seep into your psyche. And you can also play this mantra while you're doing other meditations. Like if you're, if you do, the ego eradicator meditation, you can play Ghor Dhukyang while you're doing that. If you're doing Fist of Anger, like I do every day, play Ghor Dhukyang while that's going on. You can incorporate it into a lot of those sort of warm-up exercises that we do in Kundalini Yoga. And if you're not a Kundalini yogi, you can just incorporate this however works for you. The White Sun track is a really, really beautiful track. I'm going to play it right now, a couple rounds, just so you can hear it. I'm also going to link it in the notes of this video, just so you can quickly access it. So, just wherever you're at, just take a deep breath. Exhale the breath. And think about what's going on in your life, what obstacles are facing you, what difficulties are you having to overcome, and just as you listen to this mantra, direct the sound that's entering your body at that difficult circumstance.
Ghor Dhukyang naam Dhukyang janam daridram mahapakadam sagal samram taranam nanak jai
Take a deep inhale and exhale. So that is the sound current of Ghor Dhukyang. That is the white sun version of this mantra. And just to wrap it up, sacred sounds, they carry vibrational frequencies that recognize the mind, the body, the spirit. Those vibrational frequencies, when they enter your body, they start to change things. They start to move energy. That's what makes mantra different from music. Just like fire transforms physical matter, Ghor Dhukyang, this mantra, burns away negativity, and it burns it away at a vibrational level. It works both at a subconscious and at a cellular level. It dissolves deep-rooted energetic blocks. So imagine the heaviest, darkest burden, picture it dissolving like into nothing with the sound of this mantra. That is the power of Ghor Dhukyang. The power ultimately is inside all of us. The mantras are tools that we use to move that energy and move it in the direction that we want it to go. And I think it's really exciting that we're alive at a time when we have this technology. And yes, mantras are technology. Your washing machine is technology, your iPhone is technology, your laptop is technology. Mantras too are technology. They are technology of the Aquarian age. I am so grateful that we have the Ghor Dhukyang mantra now to work with, and that we have such a beautiful track given to us by White Sun. So incorporate this in your life however seems best for you. Thank you so much for watching and for joining. May the longtime sun shine upon you, all the love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Until next time, Sat Nam.